Hey y'all, it's Justin coming to you today again with a floral arrangement. I was able to pick up some flowers from a place I don't normally get to yesterday, and then I threw in a couple bundles of local flowers, so it's going to be probably a pretty big arrangement, but I figured since August is the last month of summer that we would do a big summer display, because next month we'll obviously be transitioning into some fall arrangements. So I've cleaned up most of what we're using today. There may be a little cleanup as we go along, but we've got some roses, we've got some sunflowers, some orangium, some veronica, some Star of Bethlehem. I think that's what we're working with here. So we're going to start off with our base, which is going to be the, why am I drawing a blank now? I just said it. Dusty Miller. There we go. Took me just a minute, but I got it. All right, so this is a pot I picked up at home, and they have a whole bunch of pots that are on clearance for 75% off. So I got this pot and a bunch of bud vases, but now that I'm looking at it, this pot isn't going to work. It's too tall. So let me grab something different here. One moment. So I found a smaller or lower vase. This comes with a built-in frog that just slides in. This is an older vase that I have. This one came from Home Good, and I think it was $10 or $11. So nothing too crazy expensive. But again, we're gonna start with the Dusty Miller because that is going to be our foliage accent. And with the frog, you can just stick your stems into the frog and it will hold them where you want them. So, and it kind of helps with arranging too, because we're going to take this leaf off, but it will help you space out florals as well. If you count out the spacings, that's usually an easier way to do it. But again, we'll just keep on going, probably tearing off the lower branches here, and you'll see we've got a grid going that way, and we've got 5 stems of the Dusty Miller. So we will put them going out each side and then one in the middle. So again, just taking off any leaves that don't look good along the way. And you don't want leaves obviously sitting in the water. So make sure if there's a leaf touching the water that you maybe pull that one off, and just so that you don't have bacteria growing in your water. But we're gonna again come in and do a little trim. This one is gonna go in the center. So we've got a great base here of greenery with the Dusty Miller. And the other stems will help it stand up as well. But overall, we're looking good there. We've got 5 stems of orangium as well, which is this beautiful blue tinted bloom. And I know I'm going to go in with one of these in the center, so I'm going to do that right away. That will also help our Dusty Miller stand up as well. So it looks like these littler branches want to fall, but we'll get that to stay as we move along here. Don't be afraid to reposition things as you go along. There's no harm in that at all. So, and like I said, the more we get in here, the more secure that base or frog will be. So I've got 4 other stems of that, and like I said, we want to disperse this. I actually am going to take a little bit more off of that. There we go. And then we're going to come in on this side. There we go. Now it's looking better. And you can weave some of those branches through to kind of blend them, but you don't have to. It'll eventually stay. And like I said, I have 4 more stems of those. So like we had the 4 stems of the Dusty Miller, I'm just going to spread those out along the edges too, probably cutting them all at the same height so we get some uniformity all the way around. So I'm just going to grab all 4 of them and cut them at the same height. And we are just going to get those out of the way and kind of make a circle around here, putting them in between each one of our Dusty Millers. And we'll probably be fussing with this one to get it to stand up, which is fine. But there we go. So we've got a base of Dusty Miller and our Orangium. Now we're going to come in with our bigger flowers, which are the sunflowers and the roses. So I think we're going to start with a big old sunflower, and just giving it a little fresh cut to take up water. Get that placed in there. You kind of got to work them through the openings of your frog. So there we go. And then I have 4 more. And remember, we've had 4 of each of the other things. So I'm just going to spread these probably at the same level again, through the base here, using our frogs as spacing. And I'm probably going to give these all again the same cut, so we're working with the same height all the way around. Again, just taking these and giving them a fresh cut to take up water. And then we will go in and place these all around. What do we got here? So there we go. And our next biggest flower are these roses. So I think what I'm going to do here is do 3 out the top, and then we will scatter the rest of them around the sides. So again, just giving it a fresh cut, working it down into our floral frog here, which is starting to get a bit tricky there, but giving us some height. The second 2, we will go down a little lower, giving us some fading down a little bit. So again, not the same height. And we've got the V going, and actually I might do 2 more. Or, no, well, yeah, I'll do 2 more for sure. Just wanted to make sure. I've only got 8 of these, and I want to make sure I get some evenly distributed, but then we also want to carry some through to the base. So there we go. So we've got 5 coming out the top. I've got 3 left, and I think the 3 that I have left, I'm gonna go real low with. So again, we've got these. And I'm gonna create some color at the base by bringing these down. Actually, I might even go a little bit lower than that. As you see, just tucking some of that interest down. And since I have 3, I'm going to do that all the way around with the last 3 to again pull some of that brightness and some of that interest down. There we go here. And they don't have to be perfectly at the same height. You can vary that a little bit. As you'll see when I spin this around, they are not all at the same height, but they are all at the same spacing. And I'm gonna give that one a little bit more of a trim. So there we go. So we've got one there peeking through, and the other one there. So now I've got some Star of Bethlehem, which is this beauty. And I have 5 of those that came in a pack. So we are going to, I think we're gonna just dot those around towards the, well actually we might do, yeah, we'll dot them around the top here. Again, just making a fresh cut for them to take up water. I know you can't see that yet, so I'll swing that around here as soon as I get a couple of them placed. And then just making a fresh cut. That's these 2 right here so far. And we're just gonna work our way around. Creating some fun texture with a nice spiky bloom. Our last one here, we are going to dot in like that. So again, right here, 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 kind of got placed a little bit closer. We need to move, let's move one, and put it on this opposite side that I seem to have missed. So again, don't be afraid to move things once you place them. If you see that it's not balanced or it's not quite the placement you are looking for, there's no harm in picking something up and moving it. So that's a little bit better there. So now you can see we've got them going all the way around. And then our next flower is Veronica. And I've got a purple Veronica and a pink Veronica that we are going to mix together. So there are 6 stems each of these. So in order to make a bigger impact, I'm going to split them up into bundles of 3. And I'm actually going to put like 2 purple, 1 pink, 2 pink, 1 purple, and kind of get the colors to mix around a little bit better. So I'm going to take just a packet of 3 that I got here. I'm going to give them a cut, a fresh cut. And then we are going to go in and see how well we can get these to tuck down in. So they don't have to be at the same height. Just make a way for them. So there's our first bunch. You see there, we've got some purple and some pink. And we'll do it again here with our second bunch. With some purple and some pink. And I am staggering when I cut, I am staggering a purple up a little higher so it, you know, whatever the color is that I've got double, so that I can kind of create a little bit of movement, so to speak, I guess. Now we are going to come in and place our next grouping. Maybe. The frogs are starting to get full here. It's a good thing this is our last flower. So again, we've got that. And I've got one more grouping. Again, staggering when I cut. The purple and the pink. And we are going to come in, hopefully right here. And there we have it. Very open, very airy, very summery, very bright. And you can fiddle with the flowers a little bit as you see fit. Standing some of them up. But I love the spiky florals in it. Creates a lot of whimsy and perfect for summer. I hope this inspires you. I know you can't see much of me, but that's okay. That's not the point. The point is that you are inspired and are doing maybe a kitchen container yourself.